Good afternoon, traders. I thought I'd bring you a quick update. As you all know, I do this mainly. This is just a hobby that I do, so I don't have a lot of time to devote to making a ton of videos, but I need to keep you all up to date. And today, what the battle has all been about is the dollar. And I hate to sound like an American exceptionalist again, but truthfully, it is all about the dollar. All right, so this is where the battle lies today. And what is happening is the dollar is crashing. And actually, that should be good for continued rise in the markets and also in the crypto space. All right, so when the dollar weakens, it means the dollar is crashing here, right? So we have this trend line that comes all the way from the 24th of May. And the dollar has been steadily increasing in strength since that time for 6 months. And now we are crashing through a trend line that I have drawn here. And that means the dollar is getting weaker against other currencies. All right. And it may not just be against other currencies, it's just the fact because fiat currencies globally are being debased by world banks, right? And central banks. All the currencies are being debased. We are experiencing new heights of inflation. And that inflation has to be factored into the price on the indexes somehow. All right. That's why we're seeing such a rise in the indexes, and it feels like nothing ever comes down because inflation is being factored into those prices uh, by traders. All right. So I believe we had some kind of Fed meeting today talking about inflation. I saw some new numbers which were greatly underestimated, but essentially stating that inflation was at new highs, though still not as high as it really is in reality. And because of that, that is causing the dollar to crash. Now, when the dollar crashes, what happens to everything else? It goes back up again. So let's see how our indexes are doing. This is really the first time I've peeked at the charts today, so I'm going to do this along with you. And we'll try to make this another 5-minute video, so I'm not spending too much of your time. All right, S&P still in our channel here. That's good. And I see that the Nasdaq is under the baseline of support, fighting with that area of resistance right now. We could see it pop back over tomorrow with these new inflation numbers. Dow Jones, we're right on the line. All right, so with the dollar crashing, we can kind of project a price. Now, the dollar could come back above this trend line tomorrow, but I don't think that's happening. Uh, Only due to I've seen some headlines coming up on my news feed. Haven't had time to read them, but regarding the new inflation numbers, and they are high. So I think the dollar will continue to crash here, and if that happens, Dow Jones continues in its upward channel. Nasdaq hops back into its channel, and SPY stays where it's at. Now that brings us over to crypto because that's what we care about, right? Studamus traders. So let's go over to Bitcoin and crypto leaders, and we'll see what's going on here with Ethereum. First of all, Ethereum is fighting some major resistance, that purple trend line, and just above it, we have the 200-day. So that is a tough battle, and to be honest, this looks like a bear flag to me. So we could actually see more downside, which would indicate to me that the dollar might pop back above that trend line we were looking at. All right. And Bitcoin, same thing. We've got some big resistance up ahead. This purple trend line, not big, it's pretty significant. But again, this looks like a bear flag. All right. So I've been saying that we could still come down to this 36,000 mark, and there might be enough liquidity in the market for us to do that. I'm having my doubts, but I had my doubts we get below that blue, and that green trend line, and we did. So I've been wrong on both cases there, and I don't want to rule out the possibility that I could be wrong again. All right, and then I'm going to answer a question today from one of my subscribers. Talked about some bearish divergence on the 4 hour and some bullish divergence. All right, so he said, first of all, he noticed some bullish divergence. Oops, delete that. Get my crosshairs out, move this up. All right, bullish divergence on the 4 hour from December the 3rd until January the 4th. All right, so the reason why I don't count this as significant is because there's not enough touch points here, guys. All right, I'd like to see at least 3 touch points. This is a anomaly. All right, so you would really want to measure this on the 4 hour from here to here, and in this case you're looking at slightly bearish divergence. So discounting that because it's not really significant for us to pay attention to. But he was right in the fact that there is definitely bearish divergence uh, from, oh, how did I draw that? Yep, from here going down here. Now the good news is we just broke above this on the RSI. But you can see from the same time frame, if I were to draw a trend line, now this isn't the type of trend line I would draw just based on price action, but just from this point in time going down to where we are today would look something like this. Actually, it would look like this. All right, so RSI, we broke above this bearish divergence. So on the RSI, this bearish divergence is now invalidated. However, we are currently fighting with the bearish trend line in price action here on our 4 hour. All right, so he was correct in stating that there is bearish divergence. I think because we popped above, that no longer is something we really need to pay attention to. Although that's not saying, because we are hitting our heads here, that we won't go down further. So once again, the charts are indicating to me that there could be further downside from here, guys. So pay attention to that. Watch out for that because, again, we do have this support way down at 36,000 we could come down to, and these are all looking like bull flags from our leaders. All right, Ethereum included, the totals included, they all kind of look the same. All right, looks like it could be a bear flag. And that is your wrap up for today. I'll see you back here next video, whenever that is. Take care, guys.